inspiration came from? Are you yourself an author? And what led you to this?
I started it in 2006. I released it in 2010. It's called Men and Sex, Power, Pleasure, Pain. And when I finished the book, by the time it was over, I was exhausted. And I realized that the marketing and the promotion and all of those things, it is just very, very daunting. And so this film really for me was me returning back to my original passion, which as a child was always film. But I needed, this is going to sound weird, but I needed my own personal justification that I was a great writer, so I wrote the book. And so I did that. I got that from people who read it and they enjoyed it and that type of thing. But I stayed in touch with all of these writers that, most of them from the conference. I stayed in touch with them, and I knew their struggles, and I knew that, for other young writers out there who wanted to write or were thinking about it or were in the process or had just released their first book, I knew what they were going through, and I felt like, well, there's got to be more people that are going through the same thing. And then the Black Writers Conference, I have gone to that for 5 years, and when the director told me it was the last one, I was like, man, we got to capture that some kind of way. We need to put that on tape. And that's how the idea itself was born of doing this film.
Wonderful. And so, would love to want to see, will this let you feel more confident to move forward in filmmaking, or do you feel more led to do another book?
I am definitely 100% a filmmaker. I'm a filmmaker. And so, at some point I might write another book. I mean, I definitely have, scripts in my mind, but I am definitely a filmmaker. The people who are in this one outside of the conference, I can only tell you that God put them in my lap because I didn't know Zane, I didn't know Eric LaSalle. A lot of people want to know that. What I believe is that when you are on your path and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're headed in the direction you're supposed to go, that God will just open stuff up. I mean, you don't have to do anything. Actually, you just have to be and exist and just stay true to yourself and who you are. So that's I'm a filmmaker.
And then, I'm all over the place with my writing right now, and I've had a bunch of professors tell me that my stories are too detailed, they're too lengthy to be in film, television, and I've always been a visualist, so that's really when I want to do my work. But they say that I'm leaning more towards novels and stuff. So what would you say to something like somebody that wants to cross over from television?
Well, the first thing I would say to you is figure out what does God say.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter what you're.
Right.
And I respect professors, and I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, you first have to figure out what it is that you think that you're supposed to be doing. Some of the greatest, people of all time were always told that what they shouldn't do or should do. Exactly. That type of thing. You have to find your own voice when it comes to writing. That's not something that anybody can really guide you on. You want your professors to give you the craft of it. Learn the craft. You cannot learn enough. And you will do more harm to yourself than good if you don't learn the craft. If you learn it, then, you could write about 3 little pigs, blowing down a brand new house with a big old blue wolf, and people will be like, oh my God, she wrote the most amazing thing ever about these pigs. So, it's really more about the craft, not necessarily, you don't have to pick one thing. Nobody ever told me I had to pick one thing, so I didn't. I wrote a book, and now I made a film. Does that help?
It helps.
All right, well, good. Go forth then. Right.
Thank you.
Can you just give us some information on how we can get in touch with you?
Absolutely. You can get in touch with me. I'm definitely on Facebook. My Twitter is C_Mikki. The bottom line is if you go on Google and you type in C.Mikki, C.M.I.K.K.I, I promise you'll find me. All right.
Thank you so much again for joining us. You all, another round of applause for Ms. C.Mikki. I'm happy to all the way from Austin, Texas.